welcome to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Sparkler J, and I like to say welcome. Happy New Year once again, and I hope this year has been going fine for you. And so today, as the title of the video is, it's also going to be a chilled video anyway. As the title says, it says 4 cities in 3 years, and I kid you not, I've actually lived in 4 cities in the United Kingdom in 3 years. I know you might be wondering that, oh, why have I moved so much? In Nigeria, you call such a person an Ajala. So you can probably call me Ajala. And definitely you might be asking and you might be wondering, oh, what has made me move that often within just 3 years? For now, if it's something you want to know about, I can talk about that, but this video basically is just to tell you about the 4 cities and to give you compare those 4 cities. I think I'm in a right place or a good standing to say that I can actually give my honest review and comparison among those cities. I believe that you probably learn 1 or 2 lessons from it, and it can also guide you in making any informed decision for new immigrants and even people that are here, in case you probably want to make a move, you're thinking of making a move. It will really help you in give you like an added information to be able to make the right choice. Basically, this video is not it's not like I'm just trying to tell you where to move to, but it should just serve like a guide, and it's purely based on my own experience and what I've observed when I stayed in those cities. So if probably you have any contrary opinion or you have any other like added information, you can drop it in the comment section and we will all be there to read and to learn from it. So like I said, 4 cities. So the 4 cities I've stayed in Hull, East Yorkshire. It's in the north of England. And the second city I'll be comparing also with is Shaford-on-Drede in Essex. And we're talking about Ipswich and Newcastle. So let's start with comparing. So I'll be looking at them on major categories as it relates to our general lifestyle. And I know that one of the key major expense that people make is rent and childcare. So I was starting with rent. So comparing Hull is definitely a very affordable city to stay in, and an average 2-bedroom, because I started off in Hull and we stayed in 2-bedroom. An average 2-bedroom as a den cost about £470 to £500 per month. So all was really affordable in terms of rent. So comparing it to Shaford-on-Drede in Essex, Shaford-on-Drede in Essex cost average 2-bedroom terrace house is around £1,250 to £1,350. Even recently, I see some 2-bedroom going for £1,450. So you can see the whole range of difference, like from £500 to £1,250. Comparing it to Ipswich was also quite affordable, but not as affordable as Hull. Ipswich is the price is about average 2-bedroom you can get for like 800, 850, 900. Although I can see that the rental in the area is getting more expensive as the year goes by, because people are now moving more into the area, and also there are newer developments as regards the Ipswich Club, the stadium, and also we're having more people getting attracted to move into Ipswich. So it's getting quite pricey, but not as pricey as Essex. So I'm down to Newcastle. Newcastle, it depends on where you stay in Newcastle. And but average 2-bedroom about 800 is also quite affordable, 950 to 1,000 depending on your taste and the type of house you want. But average 2-bedroom is about, I think, 700. 3-bedroom you can get for like 800, 850, 900 and thereabout depending on your taste. So down to childcare. That's the, sometimes I wonder if it's even the first most expensive expense you have, or the or the second after the rent, but I think both of them are competing for cost. So for childcare, in all, you can, it depends on what you want in all, but they were while I stayed there, they were like affordable and subsidized nursery and childcare centers. And so averagely, as at then, you could get like childcare expense to about £750 per month, and there were other places that were actually up to £800 depending on what you want, but at least you could get that affordable and subsidized one. But coming to Shaford-on-Dred, oh my god, in Essex, just to mention, Shaford-on-Dred in Essex is quite close to London, and so I guess that's why some things are really pricey over there. So childcare was nothing less than 1,250 per month. Imagine paying that for each child. So it was neck breaking when it comes to childcare. Then moving to Ipswich was quite better, also like quite affordable. It depends on what you're looking for, but for childcare you could at least afford something that would go about 700, 600 per month for their childcare. Newcastle, I think Newcastle was also in the range of Ipswich. Also, they're also in that light. Then the third thing that I know people look at, electricity bills and your council tax, energy bills, council tax bills, and the rest. To be sincere, I think that is not as much as location based as you expect. So regardless of if you're staying in Hull, if you're staying in Shaford-on-Dred in Essex, or if you're staying in Ipswich or Newcastle, I think it depends on some other factors. Number one, when you talk about council tax, it depends on the council, like the council in that area, what they are actually charging. And it also depends on, for example, your energy bill is depend on your usage majorly. Although cities in the north, like they're usually colder than some other cities that are closer to, that are not in the north. But however, from my experience, it wasn't so much of a difference. Even in Shaford-on-Dred, where the expenses were more, we were paying lesser bills as compared to Ipswich or all. So that also depends basically on your usage. It depends on the type of house you take. Is the house energy efficient? There are some houses that are not as cold as some houses. Like in Ipswich was really cold. The energy expense was off the roof, was the highest I've experienced. Compared to Shaford-on-Dred, I expect that my expense should really go up given every other thing. So it depends on the type of house. Is it a old house? Is it a new house? Is it energy efficient house? Is it a type, depending on the band, is it a band A house, band B? So there are a lot of information as regards that. So that will really vary. So it might not be so much of location based. Then other things you spend your money on, talking about groceries. I know you spend your money on like shopping from different stores, like from Primark, from Lidl, Asda, and the rest. So comparing expenses for monthly outgoings for those cities, I can also tell the good thing about the UK is that there's not so much of a difference, in the sense that Asda in all charges the same price as Asda in Shaford-on-Dred, and charges the same price as Asda in Ipswich, and so in Newcastle. So there isn't so much of difference when it comes to that grocery expenses and the rest. Then talking about, but however, when it comes to food stuff, especially if you are someone that like to eat African food, like if you're Nigerian or other parts of you're from other African countries, I like to eat out once in a while. Talking about expense, cities like, for example, all trying to get African food can be quite more expensive compared to cities like Essex, which is close to London. This is because in Essex, you have varieties, like you have more competitors, like you have more people that go into African food, so you have a lot of them, and so it's easier to like eat out and get restaurants or get foodstuffs that are like cheaper when it comes to African food. So my honest review about four of those cities is that for Hull, it's quite expensive to eat out, and Newcastle, wow, extremely it depends on where you're staying though, but like it's quite expensive compared to if you're staying in Essex. So when it comes to Essex, Shaford-on-Dred, it was easier to get food stuff that were less expensive, like not just food stuff, like eat out, eat well, and get good value for money. And okay, so one of the things I also look at, which is very important, is job opportunities. For all, like I said, it's very affordable. You can have the good life, you have the good standard of living, good way of life. It's a chill city, it's calm city, lovely city. However, one of the down parts is that there are limited job opportunities. So when you're trying to get a job, it can be so difficult to get that dream job of yours unless you get a job that you have to work remotely. That is how you really enjoy, because you probably will be earning at least quite better, but your expense will be on the low, given the rents and some other fees, majorly rent and childcare expenses that will be on the low for you. So you can get that good quality of life. For Shalford 100, there are more job opportunities. This is because for Shalford 100 in Essex, it's quite close to London, and you know London has more job opportunities, and it's very close. What I mean is quite close, like the train is about, I think, just maximum of about 30 minutes and you are in London. So you can easily get like work in stay in Shalford 100 and work in London and make that money. And it's just that sometimes the money goes into some expense, but if you're able to get a really high paying job, I think it's a nice place to stay. Then talking about Ipswich too is quite close to London. However, for some reason, the trains and the commutes and the transport to London from Ipswich is off the hook, extremely expensive. Like the train, for in the case of Shalford 100, the train, I think going and coming, you could just pay £13. That's return trip. However, for Ipswich, you see train as high as £80. They were like, what's going on? I think I've asked questions about that, and they said, I think Ipswich runs a private train services. So in my honest opinion, it's quite difficult unless if you are in a job where you just have to go to work maybe once a month or twice a month or once a quarter, and you can work remotely. That would be really good. But in aspect of traveling in and commuting to London or to any job you want, is quite difficult. And also in terms of job opportunities within Ipswich is quite limited unless you're working with the council, with the government, which sometimes is not as easy as that to get those jobs, especially if you need sponsorship. But those jobs are also available. But the job availability is limited compared to Shalford, but compared to Hull, I think it has higher number of jobs. In Newcastle, oh yeah, it depends on where you stay. There are also more job opportunities compared to Ipswich and compared to Hull, but not as much as Shalford. Once you're close to London, to be sincere, there are more job opportunities for you. And also the other aspect, I think, one other aspect where I want to look at, they're talking about the city itself, like talking about how beautiful the city is. Hull is a very beautiful city. There are different parts of Hull, depends on where you want to stay. It's calm, it's actually beautiful, and given that you don't even have to pay so much to get a wonderful place, it's a nice city to stay in. Going to Shalford 100, oh my god, Shalford 100 is beautiful, and the beauty about it is that it's not just beautiful, it's actually close to a particular very popular mall called the Lakeside. Even people in London come to that shopping center. That Lakeside shopping center has almost every store that you can ever think of. Victoria's Secret, it has Primark, it has Boots, it has JD, it has every store, every shopping store, anything that you want. So I really enjoyed staying in Shalford 100 because it was just like this Lakeside shopping mall was like 9 minutes walk from my house. So like anything I need, I had it on the go. When it comes to African stores, so it's just not so far. I just had to go to the nearby place using train, and within 3 minutes I'm there. I'm able to shop for African foods. And no, talking about Shalford, the area was beautiful. In fact, it's a lovely. So just to go out, I don't need to spend so much. I'm just off my house working and I'm there. Like you have everything in that place. You have a restaurant, like you had food at your beck and call. You had a lot of things, like there was proximity to a lot, and even proximity to good schools. Like it was a very beautiful area. Talking about Ipswich is a smaller town. You have the city center and you have the beautiful places there, like stores also, but not as nice as Shalford 100. So if I'm going to talk about beauty, serenity, and lovely environments, I will give it to Shalford 100. But talking about Newcastle, Newcastle is also very beautiful. There's one thing I always tell, like one thing I think I like about Newcastle is the fact that I believe Newcastle has a blend of Scotland and England. You know what about Scotland? The city in Scotland, like Glasgow, Edinburgh, they have this very beautiful scenery. Like the buildings are beautiful. Everything about the cities are beautiful. So imagine combining that beautiful scenery, just because the Newcastle has a beautiful scenery, just like Scotland, added to England vibes. So that's one thing I really love about Newcastle. It's beautiful. It gives me that Scottish vibe. So I don't have to think. So you have a bit of both worlds, which is not bad. But however, talking about like for me, the way I stay, the proximity, I'll give it to Shalford. Then I think I'll give Newcastle second. I'll give Hull, then Ipswich. So sorry. Sorry to my Ipswich guys. And also, so basically, and based on everything that I have said, you probably would think, okay, what should we rank? Who should I rank the best city? The truth about it is that the choice of your city depends solely on your own individual condition or individual situation. Why I would say that is that looking at those cities, some cities that combine the low cost of living, however, there are no job opportunities. So if you're someone that you can work remotely and you know you're going to work remotely in the short term, you can stay in cities like Hull, beautiful city, good schools, good quality of life at a lower cost. You're able to save better and maybe buy your own house and, live more quality life. But if you're someone that you're probably aiming to work in London and your job has to be in London, you can also stay in Shalford. I know it's expensive, but however, if what you want at that time is that, then Shalford 100, you can stay in Shalford and that will work for you. So majorly the choice of cities, I'm just giving a comparison so that you know what to expect and know how that would affect your expenses and what you have at the end of the month. But in general, they are all wonderful cities. And one important thing is always commit your ways in God's hands. Let him direct you, let him lead you. And as well, try to make more logical decisions, especially when it comes to job. If you're really looking for a job, maybe job is your focus. I'm not saying you can't get jobs. If you get remote jobs in all those other cities that are farther than from London and they have good quality of life, why not stay there? But if you are really, really aiming for something else and you really want a job that the location is not as flexible and there's no remote working, I think Shalford 100 is not a bad idea to stay. Though it's very expensive, however, there are other smaller cities close to it, like there is Grays in not cities like town. Grays in Essex is close to Shalford 100. I think the rent is more bearable, so you can just stay in some cities provided there is very good transport link and you're able to look at the cost of the transport link, because sometimes you don't want to be penny wise pound foolish, where because I know that's one of the challenges we face when we're trying to get a house. And most times you look at the house, you look at the radius from your work, and the house seems like, oh, it's very cheap, but at the end of the day, by the time you check the transport fare, it feels like you're paying a lot. So you're getting stressed, paying a lot, staying far. At the end of the day, you're still the same and even worse off than if you were staying closer and paying a higher rent. So ensure that you put that pen to paper and do the calculation. Ensure that you put the pen to paper, do the appropriate calculation, try to see the impact this will have, not just on your pocket, your health is very, very important, and you'll be able to make the right decision. I hope you're able to find this video very resourceful. I hope this video helps you to be able to make your choice. And in case you just want to also have idea of Lakeside, I've done a video on Lakeside to give you an idea of the place and everything. You can go back to my video and watch it. If you have any comments, any contrary opinion, any additional information, I would really appreciate if you drop it, and I would read it also, and we all can learn from each other. And please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment, don't forget to press the notification bell, don't forget to do all the good stuff, and I will see you in my next. Until then, I wish you the very best of God and have a good day and good week. Bye bye.